I think the biggest storyline from yesterday, though, at least in terms of the conversations people are having, is Fred VanVleet and his knee. And he shot 7 of 22 from the field yesterday. And, he played a good game otherwise. I guess, 9 assists, only 1 turnover. Like, there were some good things about it, but 7 of 22 is 7 of 22. I mean, you're not really going to sugarcoat this. I went through and watched the film of the shots, sort of broke it down in terms of like open misses, which are like shots that you can accept, but they just missed them. Makes, obviously, the 7 makes, what were they? And also they're just bad shots. And for me, most of the open misses are just like wide open threes that he just couldn't really get to. There's a baseline out of bounds 3 where they, we talked about this a couple weeks ago about like they love doing this play where they inbound to about the free throw line area. Then the inbounder being Fred cuts to the corner around a couple screens and gets an open pass. He's so good at those. He missed that one. He missed a deep 3 without a contest from Zach LaVine. He had a layup where he tried to go up quick, no contest from Vucevic. He just missed it, although he got a wide open 3 after that and he made it. A wide open 3, he missed it in the third quarter. Another wide open 3 and then another wide open 3. All in the fourth quarter as the Raptors were basically, running out of gas in that stretch. So those are shots you're kind of okay with. When you look at in terms of like the bad shots, in terms of like, okay, maybe he could have taken those back. A lot of those were at the rim, like got blocked at the rim on a layup. He got, a contested pull-up 3, but there was no separation from his man, so he missed it. There's a mid-range pull-up where he got no separation from Io. He got blocked on a runner. Maybe he was playing for the foul there. I couldn't really be sure. He got blocked by Vucevic at the basket. And then there's just like end of the clock heaves. And there were 3 of those as well. And you can't fully blame a guy for, you just got to get a shot up. And Fred being a shooter, obviously he's going to be open a lot of the times at the end of the clock. But like ultimately, this is not like a good Fred performance. We know that. So.
And I didn't think his defense was up to his usual par either.
Yeah.
It's not the best game to evaluate him from because they've got 2 big guard style wings, and
he wasn't going to guard DeMar or Zach,
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know that, but he still picked up 5 fouls even in doing that.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I thought the game from a point guard perspective was solid. The 9-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, hard to do that if you're having a terrible night overall.
Yep.
And I threw that stat at you a little earlier, and I guess that's what I want to know what your concern level is the drives dropping by 50% from 14 to 9.5.
Yeah.
Is that something that, like, are you noticing that? And do you think that's a Fred discomfort thing? That's a matchup thing? What do you think's going on there? A spacing thing? Because that's a pretty dramatic drop over. I know it's just 8 games that VanVleet's played in, but that's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think absolutely that is a knee thing. And that I think that's the main concern. And that's the thing that's like, maybe even more than just, okay, if the Raptors might have to play in the play-in tournament, all this stuff. Like, we've been doing this thing of we have an ongoing Nets concern meter. We might have to have a Fred's knee concern meter because that might be a bigger concern to me. Like, whether you get into playing game or not, that's fine. Obviously you don't want to play Brooklyn, but after that, maybe you play like Charlotte or Atlanta. Guess what Charlotte and Atlanta have? All-star guards. You really need Fred to be healthy and performing for that. And, of course, once you make it to the playoffs, you need him to perform. And to be honest, like, some of the quotes that he gave after the game just were a little bit concerning. I think we have that clip. Producer?
Yeah, it's not doing much. It's not doing much. I understand the concept of it. You know what I mean? I probably would be, even less effective than I was tonight if I would have played, last night. But it is what it is. It's just one of those things where you just got to kind of take it day by day and figure it out as you go. Certainly hard to gain a rhythm, as you said. But it's all of this is difficult. It's a difficult situation, and it's what I get paid to do. So I got to figure it out. Certainly take ownership and responsibility for my poor performance, and I'm looking forward to getting back on track.
Do you feel confident that with the way you are in terms of your health, you'll be able to be productive the way this team needs?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll get there. Now, it just depends on what path, we'd like to take to get there. There's a few different things we can do to get to that point, considering where we are in the season. I think for the most part, I've always elected to play and play until somebody stops me. So here we are. And, some days feel better than others, but for the most part, I can do my job pretty good out there. Definitely not, where I would love to be, but, it's a process to get there.
Yeah, so not the most encouraging. Like, the question at the start was like, "Hey, you've been rested a lot for these games," and he was rested for the first half, the back-to-back. He didn't play against Philly. Do you feel like it's helped your knee? And he's like, "Yeah, not really." And then the thing that really stuck out was there's a couple of things that we could do to get there, which I don't know. Again, I feel like every week we're on this show talking about injuries, and we are not doctors. Turns out it takes longer than a week to get that doctorate. But like, what do you mean? What do you think Fred means?
I mean, I think the option would be to sit it down for an extended stretch.
But they kind of did do that, didn't they?
They did, but I don't know how much of that is. Like, I think there's a difference between you're questionable every day and you sit out the games, and you have.
But it wasn't even like he was warming up.
Was he not? You're at the games.
No,
I'm not. So okay,
unless he was in the practice court upstairs. I didn't see him.
I mean, there's also there was the one picture of him in like the Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace pregame one day. So that would be my thing is like he's listed as questionable for all those games that doesn't play. I think that's different than, hey, I'm shutting it down for a week or two and I don't have to worry about trying to get ready to play and testing it each day because I know I'm off for X amount of time. The issue is that we're probably past that point in the schedule where that's doable. The Raptors have 10 games left. They're going to, even if they can't get the 6th seed, if they lose to Cleveland on Thursday.
No, they can't lose to Cleveland on Thursday.
That's
a must win.
Even if they do, they're still going to want to play for the 7th seed because then not only do you get 2 cracks at the play and you get to host both of them, eventually they're probably going to win a game in front of full capacity crowd. I don't know. I feel like this is all leading to like a big Fred VanVleet heel turn where the Raptors keep losing in front of full capacity crowd. And you know when he grabs the mic at the last game to thank the fans all the time?
Yeah.
He's like, I blame each and every single one of you. And yeah, that's where this is going. This is going full WWE.
Okay.
Which you could check out on all the Sportsnet channels, of course.
Definitely.
So I don't know, man. I think we're past the point of Fred shuts it down for a little bit to get a proper rest. Now, in terms of the other things he could be referring to, I don't know. That's maintenance stuff that we don't see. That's sitting out shoot around, sitting out practices, all that kind of stuff. I don't think he's still leading the league in minutes per game when he does play. Maybe that comes down.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That has to come down, man. I'm sorry. At this point, it has to. Like early in the season, I get it. But like, if he's this banged up, like there was no reason for him to play in the fourth quarter last night. I'm sorry, man. But there wasn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And even if you do play the first 3-4 minutes, although the Bulls also played their starters until the end. I don't know.
That's because the Bulls are down bad. Like they're having a horrible month of March. Yeah, they needed this win because they're about to go on the road.
Anything to not put Matt Thomas in the game now.
Come on, man. I love. By the way, Matt Thomas, one of the pregame warm up MVPs. Love watching that man warm up. Okay, well, I mean, I guess it's a situation where Fred's gonna have to learn how to play on it, right? Because like if you're talking about like other things, you could, people's minds probably automatically jump to like, well, is it surgery? Is it something like that?
And that's something that ends his season.
You can't really do that at this point.
Well, you can if that's what's best for him long term. Like let's be honest, the goals that this team and this franchise have aren't going to be accomplished this season. Nick Nurse said it last night.
You've come so far this season.
I know you
have.
You don't want to do that, but you also don't want a guy that you're very invested in and who is, if not the most important, the second most important player to driving your team's success right now, to continue to play through something. And look, we don't know. Like they've said that the MRIs and stuff came back clear, but when Fred speaks cryptically like that, like I don't know what to make of it. So I would say if that's something that can help, great. You got to do that. But I think, given what we know about Fred, he'd gut it out for these last 10 games and however long the playoffs are. And I almost certainly think he'll sit that Houston game on the second last day of the season, maybe even the Knicks game in the finale.
Games,
but we'll see where they are in the standings too.
Yeah.